teach the whole world music. To sing a simple melody. To sing about all the joys and good times, yeah. You see, that's the way God meant for it to be. And if you don't like it, you don't have to sing. You don't have to sing my song. If you don't like it, you don't have to play. You don't have to play my song. If you don't like it, you don't have to sing. You don't have to sing my song. If you don't like it, you don't have to play my song. I'd love to sing a song for all the children. They are our future, can you see? Take a little time out for the babies and teach them about love, hope, and prosperity. And if you don't like it, you don't have to sing my song. And if you don't like it, you don't have to play my song. If you don't like it, you don't have to sing my song. And if you don't like it, you don't have to play my song. If you don't like it, you don't have to sing my song. If you don't like it, you don't.
Because God has blessed us to live to see another day. And it is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful privilege that each of us has because we don't know from one microsecond, picosecond, millisecond to the next what's going to take place in our lives. So do what you can while you can and do the best that you can because this is your life and the people in your life, the ones who you have uh, an effect, you affect and you even have influence with, all of those people, they are very important. So you need to do what you can. And I'm just saying this because life in itself, the to us, to us human beings, we have no control over life or death. We don't know. So the best thing for us to do is do what we can while we can and do the best that we can while we can. So I'm in life hack today. I probably won't be on here the whole hour, but I want to say that uh, Dr. Bertha McCollisher Dunn, and I've announced it, but I want to say that uh, her funeral is scheduled for Saturday. The viewing from 10 a.m. until 11 a.m. and the funeral from 11 a.m. until at the Sunshine Missionary Baptist Church on Atwater in Houston, Texas. And I truly miss her. And I know I've said it, but I truly miss her because she is my support on here. She's really supportive of me. And I just miss her chiming in. And she is such a prayer warrior. And I believe because people have gone to sleep and transitioned into eternity, that they still have an effect on our lives. And that's why I don't talk about them in the past tense, because they are forever with us in memory and with their biological family. The DNA remains. The DNA remains. So I'm going to go ahead. How to start living in the moment and stop worrying. And the McAllister family knows that I am praying for and with them. McAllister family, you know I love you. You're dear to my heart. How to start living in the moment and stop worrying. This is written by Charles A. Francis, who's an author, a meditation teacher, the director of Mindfulness Meditation Institute. And we are in lifehack.org. Living in the moment is more than a catchy phrase. It's a pathway in a fulfilling life. It's a pathway. It's a pathway to a fulfilling life. So living in the moment it's more than just a catchy phrase. It's much more than that. It's a pathway to a fulfilling life. So we've all been there, tangled in the regrets of the past or lost in the uncertainties of the future. But what if we could focus on the now? See, we so many times it slips our minds that, hey, stop worrying about the future. Stop worrying about the past. Now is what's important. And so we have to focus on that and remember that now is what counts. So this article, according to the author here, is not just about the benefits of living in the moment, um, which so many are, but he said it's a practical guide to achieving it, to achieve living in the moment. Okay, so he said, imagine a life with reduced stress and heightened enjoyment. It's possible, and he said, I'm here to show you how. All right. So our table of contents here, what we're going to go through, and I probably won't be on here the full hour because I know you can hear the little scruffiness in my voice, and I know I need to rest in my voice. I know I need to, and I will. Number one, in the table of contents, the importance of living in the moment. Number two, why do we worry? Number three, why should you stop planning and worrying too much? Number four, 3 steps to start living in the moment. And that first step is overcome worrying. The second step is identify obstacles to living in the moment. And the third part of that is practice mindfulness. Mindfulness, we talk about that quite often. Number five, bonus, 34 simple things for living in the moment. And number six is the final thoughts. So we'll get right into it. The importance of living in the moment. The importance of living in the moment. And here's a quote by Buddha. The secret of health for both mind and body is not to mourn for the past, worrying about the future, or anticipate troubles, but to live in the present moment wisely and earnestly. Oh, that is so true. So while it can be difficult to live in the moment, it has innumerable benefits. Innumerable benefits. There are benefits to living in the moment. Oh, yes, there are. And we're going to go through those benefits. Yes, thank you so much for being with me. I really appreciate you. You are so important to me. Everyone is so important to me. Hello, Apostle Eula Washington. I love you. God willing, I'll see you Saturday. God willing. So while it can be difficult to live in the moment, And this is very important. And again, I'm going to have Apostle Eula Washington to come on with me because I did an interview with her, but she has so much more to say. So much more to say. And Apostle Washington, we will get together and set that date. Thank you, everybody. You're so important to me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for the prayers. Thank you for the support, especially right now for the McCollister Dunn family. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, here are just a few of the benefits. So, while it can be difficult to live in the moment, it has an innumerable benefits. So, we're going to go through a few of the benefits that will enhance your life tremendously if we put them to work, okay? Some of them we're probably already practicing, and some of them we might not have even heard of, but we're going to go through them for better health, right? By reducing stress and anxiety, you avoid many of the associated health consequences, such as high blood pressure, heart disease, and obesity. Studies have shown that being in the moment can also improve psychological well being, and that is for real. That's for real, everybody. Next, improve your relationships. Have you ever been with someone who is physically present but mentally he or she is a million miles away? I think all of us have been with someone like that. And hey, we've been like that ourselves once or twice or maybe even more times. So being with unavailable people is a struggle, and building relationships with them is extremely difficult. How about being with someone who is fully present? We enjoy being with him or her because we can make a much deeper connection when they are present emotionally as well as physically. So, by living in the moment, you can be that person other people enjoy being with, and you make relationships much easier, and that is so true. The greater self-control is next. You have a greater self-control over your mind, body, and emotions when you are living in the moment. Imagine how much better your life would be if it were not at the mercy of a racing mind and unpredictable emotions. You would certainly be more at peace and much happier. We have to learn and practice slowing down. Have you ever known someone? Do you know someone that's almost every time you make contact with them, they're just busy? Oh, I've got to do this. Oh, I've got to do that. Oh, I'm so busy. I'm so busy. I don't have time for myself. And all you have to do is take the time for yourself. People don't realize that personally we are in control. We have the power to control our own schedules. Now, I'm not talking about like if you have a job and you have to have be there at a certain time and you stay so many hours in order to make a living. That's common sense, that I'm not talking about that. But there are so many adjustments we can make in our lives. There are so many things we can cut out, some things we can add in that can make life better for us and let us live in the present moment and get rid of that stress, unnecessary stress. And sometimes people seem to want to be stressed. It seems that the only way they can function in their minds is to be pushed against the clock. But we don't have to do that. Why do we worry? So he has said, before we answer this question is important to distinguish between worry and concern. I like this. How about you? It's important to distinguish between worry, and concern. So when we are concerned about something, we're more likely dealing with a real problem with realistic solutions. Then, once we do whatever we can to address the problem, we're willing to live with the outcome. Worrying, on the other hand, involves unrealistic thinking. We may worry about a problem that doesn't really exist or dwell on all the bad things that can happen as a result. Then we feel unable to deal with the outcome. Either way, we have difficulty dealing with uncertainty, which is a normal part of life. I think I said that in the beginning. Uncertainty is a normal part of life. That's why the topic here, thanks be to God, is do what you can while you can. Do what you can while you can. Worrying, on the other hand, involves unrealistic thinking. And I did a piece on worrying, and it gave me statistics. It said that 85, let's see, 15% of the things that we stress over and worry about, only 15% of those things might come to fruition. 85% of the time, we're worrying needlessly. Maybe 15% of those things might come to pass, whatever we're concerned or worried about. So, worrying, on the other hand, involves unrealistic thinking. Unrealistic thinking. So, certainly, some of our problems may not have desirable outcomes, such as a serious health issue. Some problems may be beyond our control, such as civil unrest or economic downturn. In such cases, it can be hard to avoid worrying, but not impossible. And I've told my children and I've told other people that I have contact with, I am not worried about what is taking place here with the hierarchy, the administrative change in the United States, and all of the corruption and all of that. I'm praying that God sustains us, but I'm not going to get my mind and all out of sorts and causing my body to get out of sorts because my mind is all uh, going every which way. What am I going to do about this? What am I going to do about that? That's We can have peace of mind like we already have, because God, I'm telling you, some people might not want to accept this. Some people might say that they don't believe in the Heavenly Father, God. But I'm telling you, I believe in God. I believe in Jesus Christ. I believe in the Holy Ghost. And I have proof in my life that they take care of me. I'm not going to fret over what those people up there might do, because God, in the scriptures, it tells us that, as David was saying, he said, I've never seen the righteous forsaken, nor God's seed begging bread. And I know this is not Greater Gospel Temple, which comes on Saturday nights at 7:30 to 9 p.m. and Sunday mornings at 7 a.m., but this is me, okay? Why should you stop planning and worrying too much? Because it has already been told to us and proven time after time after time that if you ask anything in my name, Jesus Christ said, I will do it. And then he also, in the scriptures, and it has been proven, said, God will supply all my need according to his riches in glory by Christ Jesus. And then in the Old Testament, then God say, the cattle of 1,000 hills are mine. And then Elder David said, Elder Talbot said, and all the taters under the hill. Everything belongs to God. Why should you stop planning and worrying too much? Because our Heavenly Father, you can mark my words. And you can also mark them in the captions, okay? That you will be taken care of because God has promised it. Why should you stop planning and worrying too much? There is often Way too much talk of building for the future, but what about building for the now? We all desire genuine happiness, and in order to manifest the joy, we have to live presently. In order to manifest that joy that we want, we have to live presently. Too much focus on the future often leads to stress and negative thinking. Here's 5 reasons why you should focus on living in the moment rather than planning too much in the future. And I am in lifehack.org, okay? Lifehack.org. Now, I didn't check my, uh, let me check this and make sure that I'm coming through loud and clear. Oh, yes, I am. Just wanted to make sure. The number one reason here why you should focus living in the moment rather than planning too much for the future now. Common sense lets us know that we have to make preparations for what's the coming future, near future. We can even make long range plans because we need to plan and have things set, but not to worry about those things. Always have an alternate plan. Okay, that's what we're supposed to do. The moment is the only moment you have control over right now. And that's for real. That is for real. No matter how much you plan, you never know for sure how life is going to play out. The only time you will know is when you are in that moment. I can testify to that. I concur with that. The moment you experience right now is the only moment you can control. You can choose to enjoy the moment, or you can choose to loathe the moment. Loathe, Loathe. You can choose to enjoy it, or you can just regret it or go hum ho. Here I am. Choose to enjoy the moment. We don't know whether we have another one or not. Okay? You could also choose to ignore the moment completely and waste it away. But either way, the moment is yours to control. My God, this is so good. Planning isn't going to take you out of the present. Okay? It might help you accomplish your goals, but it's not going to improve your quality of life for the moment. Oh, didn't I just say that just 2 or 3 minutes ago? Planning isn't going to guarantee you a desired outcome for the future, so why not accept what you can control now? Oh my goodness. Number 2, each moment is a gift. Each moment is a gift. And that's for real. We know for a fact that each moment is for real. Yes, Apostle Washington. Yes, he's got it all in control. Oh, yes. Thank you. Thank you. Each moment is a gift. There is no guarantee on the number of moments you will get to experience. This is extremely important to realize. No one knows when the next moment of their life is going to be taken away from them. None of us knows that. None of us knows. So your next moment is not guaranteed. So why not take advantage of the one you are in? Oh, my Lord. This is so good. You can't live with this unique perspective if you are constantly planning for the next stage in your life. or of your life. You can only experience the zest for life if you are living in the moment. It may even sound corny and unrealistic, but it makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense. Don't take moments for granted. Plan when it is necessary, but not at the expense of you enjoying the moment. As the old cliche states, that life is short, so you enjoy it while you can. You enjoy it while you can. Number three, in the moment is a great stress reducer. Thinking too much about the future and the past are often causes of stress. Even though some stress can be beneficial, the stress caused from not living in the moment can be detrimental to one's mental, physical, and emotional health. Over planning can lead to unnecessary stress when the planning prevents you from living in the moment. Invigorate your life with present living strategies that will enable you to stay more focused on each moment. You probably don't have the luxury of meditating 5 hours a day and not sitting or setting some type of plan for your future, but implementing small changes into your life should help reduce stress. Just start with the small changes. You don't have to make the great big changes all the time. Hello, Betsy. Thank you so much for being here with us. Thank you. Sister Betsy, meet Apostle Eula Washington. I want to introduce you to each other, okay? All right. Observe when your mind begins to focus on the future instead of the present moment you are experiencing. Ask yourself, if this thought process is necessary. Simple awareness and recognition of your thoughts will assist you in being more present. Oh, yes, it will. Small changes. Yes, ma'am. Number four, plans often don't manifest themselves the way you want or expect. And that is so true. How many of you have planned events, have planned just something? I'm planning to do this, I'm planning to do this. And you have had to make some changes, you've had to rectify some situations and everything, but yet it still went forth. Plans often don't manifest themselves the way you want or expect. This is a reality whether you want to believe it or not. How many times have you tried planning something, but it just didn't work out the way you want? How did you react? Did you get upset? Or did you handle the situation with acceptance and understanding? How did you deal with it? Plans fail. Oh, yes, they do. Plans fail. But let me tell you this, and I know you know this, but I want to reiterate this. All things work together for good to them that love God and are called according to purpose. So if those plans fail, and if you're in the right relationship with God, then it's working out for your good. And it's not all bad, even though we might think that what we planned didn't work out, but there's always a bigger picture. Always, always. Don't ever, like my professor at Grayson College said, never ever. So don't never ever forget that, okay? Plans fail. As a member of a flawed species, you fail often. It's a part of life. Yes, it is. Attempting to plan for every step of your life is not only impossible, but is probably not healthy for you. The more you plan, the more likely you are to become irritated or upset when those plans don't come into fruition. So he said, I am suggesting You shouldn't plan with the attitude that the plan will fail. He said, but I am proposing that you let life play its course and just be. That's what we have to do. Let life play its course and just be. Because whatever is going to be, it is. It's going to be just that. And I tell people that before God created the world, our lives were already planned out. I believe that with everything in me. And I also believe that everything works according to God's timing. So it's going to work out the way it's supposed to when it does work out. Go ahead and make plans if that's helpful for you, but don't lose sight of the moment. If your plans don't work out the way you want, then at least try to accept it. What else are you going to do? It is what it is. Okay? Number 5, living in the moment will make you happier. And he's telling us, he said, I don't like to throw the phrase make you happier around too often because nothing makes you happy but yourself. And the other day, I just talked about your happiness, your responsibility. It is so amazing. And I know God, I trust him. But he has never, ever failed to let all of the topics that he has given me to fall in line with each other and agree with each other. Living in the moment will make you happier. And he said he doesn't want to throw that phrase around, make you happier. He doesn't want to throw it around too often. He said, but hey, nothing makes you happy but yourself. Many times we say, you don't make me happy. You can't make me happy. He can't make me happy. She can't make me happy. That's because our happiness depends on us. We are the ones to make ourselves happy. So, living in the moment is one of the surefire methods you can adopt in order to manifest genuine happiness in your life. Living in the moment without delving into the all of the data, without dwelling into that, delving into it, getting all, digging all into the data, he said, and that research that's available, it is being discovered that present living is one of the most influential keys to well-being. Too much long-term planning is going to prevent you from enjoying the beauty of now. Don't impede yourself from experiencing contentment. Practice living presently and observe how it makes you feel. Plan when you need to, but don't lose sight of what is currently happening. This is so true. Now, the next part of this is find balance between living in the moment and planning. It's covering it all, isn't it? I like this piece. And we are in lifehack.org. This is one of my favorite sites. You are only going to be able to control the moment you have right now. The moment you have right now is a gift. Enjoy less stress by relishing the moment. Understand that plans don't always turn out as expected. Accept the present for what it is and be happy. Plan as you feel necessary. Save money for a family and house. Invest in yourself. Set goals for yourself and realize them. That is what you are supposed to do. In this pursuit of planning, don't forget about where you are in the present. Always remember where you are. Now we're going to 3 steps to start living in the moment. And he says, if we follow these simple steps for more balance, and he said, follow these simple steps for more balance and clarity. So number one is overcome worrying. And it's going to take some practice. Oh yes. It's going to take some prayer, some faith. Oh yes. Yes. Overcome worrying. In order to overcome worrying, you need to do 2 things. Calm your mind. CALM, your mind. When you calm your mind, you are able to see more clearly. The reason some problems seem so daunting is that our mind is racing so fast that we cannot see the things as they truly are. And we know how that is. If we something upsets us, and we just cannot think as clearly as we should to deal with that, okay? So then we make up a bunch of possible scenarios in our mind, most of which are unlikely to come true. So, in addition to seeing more clearly, a calm mind will help us think more realistically. Unrealistic thinking is fueled by confusion and uncontrolled emotions. Calming your mind will reduce confusion and calm your emotions, allowing you to live in the moment. Next, focus on solutions instead of problems. Focus on solutions instead of problems. Some people tend to be more solution oriented. It I said ended, didn't I? I didn't mean it like that. Some people tend to be more solution oriented and others more problem oriented. Some of the factors that may determine this are gender, upbringing, and education. People with more education tend to be problem solvers. That is what their years of education train them to do. In addition, their jobs probably reinforce this way of thinking. If you're not a problem solver, or if you're not problem or solving oriented, don't worry. You can train yourself to worry less. And so we'll discuss that soon, okay? Number 2, identify obstacles to living in the moment. Identify obstacles to living in the moment. In today's busy world, it can be a challenge to live in the moment. The reasons revolve around how our mind works as well as outside influences. Racing mind is next. Many busy people have a racing mind that never seems to slow down. Their mind gets so agitated from too much sensory stimulation. You see, anything that stimulates any of our 5 senses will trigger a thought, and that thought leads to another, and then another, and so on. If you have a busy life, all your activities will overstimulate your mind and make it seemingly impossible to slow down. If you find that you're easily distracted, you can begin to tackle this with life hacks free guide. They have a free guide and a link here, okay? End the distraction and find your focus. Unpleasant situations and troublesome past. None of us want to be in unpleasant situations or remembering those of the past. They can bring up painful emotions which we don't want to feel. So, how do most people cope with painful emotions? By doing whatever we can to avoid them. We can take our mind to another place and time where things are more pleasant. In other words, we avoid living in the moment. Some people resort to things that stimulate sensory pleasure, such as food, alcohol, or sex. Others will consume substances that dull their mind and keep them from thinking about unpleasant or stressful situations. Next, we have a wandering mind. From the moment we are born until the time we die, our body and mind are actively performing some function. Therefore, it's natural for our mind to have some level of activity, whether conscious or unconscious. Generally, a wandering mind is unproductive, generally, okay? One thought starts an endless chain of thoughts, and this process can go on until we need our mind to perform a specific function or get distracted with something else. Now, there are times when a wandering mind can be productive, such as when creating works of art or trying to find creative solutions to problems. In such cases, we need our mind to explore different possibilities. And I remember so vividly. This has been decades ago, and I was always planning something to do at church, planning programs, fundraisers, and even we did rodeos, we did functions, we did parades, the Polk Sisters and Company, and we did so many things. And so one day I was sitting outside, and those of you who are familiar with Denison know where Safeway was, okay? I was sitting there at the store. I had stopped at the store and I was sitting in the car and my mind was racing. So just thoughts, planning until I had to stop my mind. I had to stop thinking and sit there and calm my mind down. It was just like I had to stop thinking. That's what I had to do. Because at that time, it seemed like I was just thinking and I was just going to think myself out of my mind. And you know what that means? And I had to stop suddenly, thanks be to God, and just rearrange the thoughts in my mind and get the planning out of my mind and to think in the present. And thank God I did that. And I can remember today, it comes back to me sometimes. I remember that where I just had to stop my mind, just almost stop thinking and reboot it because it was moving so fast. I thank God because I'm telling you, He takes care of us, doesn't He? Living, He had to bring me back to the present, to the moment. It was just a few minutes, but I remember it vividly. And thank God, thank you, Lord. Now, outside influences. Most of us are not fully aware of how our environment and social norms influence our thinking and our behavior. People and institutions are constantly competing for our attention. The media draws our attention to the past, and advertising usually to the future. Many people around us who dwell on the past or future try to draw us to their way of thinking. Even the whole concept of the American dream is geared toward the future. It tells us that if we acquire things like a good career, family, and house, then we'll be happy, which does nothing to help us learn how to live in the moment. Number three, practice mindfulness. How can we start living in the moment in a world that is constantly trying to draw our attention to the past and future? Before we get into concrete actions you can take or we can take, uh, it's important to understand what mindfulness is. You've probably heard the term before, but may not fully understand what it means. And we've talked about mindfulness numerous times. What is mindfulness? The concept of mindfulness is actually quite simple. To be mindful is to live in the moment. To be mindful is to live in the moment. When you are mindful, your attention is focused on what is happening in the moment and you are fully in touch with reality. You are aware of what is happening in your body, mind, and emotions and the world around you. This is different than thinking about these things, okay? This is different than thinking about these things. To develop greater understanding, you don't have to think about them so much, but rather just observe them. This may be counterintuitive to many people, especially intellectuals, because they're so used to using logic to develop greater understanding. So, with mindfulness, we calm our mind and emotions so we can see clearly. Then, much of our understanding will come from simple observation. When we develop mindfulness, we literally expand our awareness. When we develop mindfulness, we literally expand our awareness. So, to develop mindfulness, we need to train ourselves to observe things more objectively, that is, without our emotions or preconceived ideas influencing our views. If you're ready to live a better life, you can read on for some simple mindfulness practices that you can incorporate in your daily routine to help you live in the moment. You don't have to do all of them, but rather choose the ones that appeal to you and suit your lifestyle. Then there's this mindfulness meditation. Mindfulness meditation is the mainstay of developing mindfulness and living in the moment. To practice mindfulness meditation, all you really have to do is sit quietly and follow your breathing. When your mind wanders off, just bring it back to your breath. Notice how your lungs expand with each in breath and contract with each out breath. Let your breathing become relaxed and natural. These are some good things, okay? And we have the mindfulness meditation. And it tells us that you don't have to do it perfectly. Just start spending time away from the constant sensory stimulation of all your activities and just allow it to settle down naturally. And you can start with about 5 to 10 minutes a day, and then you can work your way up to 20 minutes or longer. You can do this, okay? And it's highly effective, and it can have both the short term and long term benefits, okay? So that is mindfulness meditation. Then we have the mindful breathing, and it talked about that in the meditation. Then we have the mindful walking, which is an activity you can perform several times throughout the day. We often think we're being productive by texting or calling someone while walking, but are we really? So instead of getting on your cell phone or letting your mind wander off, why not use your walking to train yourself to live in the moment and focus on the task at hand? Okay, that's mindful walking. Then we have mindful eating. Eating is an activity that most of us perform mindlessly. The reason is that it doesn't require your attention to perform. Therefore, Many of us try to multitask while we eat. We may talk on the phone, text, watch TV, or even hold a meeting, and that's for real. We all know that, don't we? The problem with this is, with not eating mindfully, is that we don't eat what our body and mind need to perform at an optimal level. Okay? We may eat unhealthy foods or too much. This can lead to various health problems, especially as we get older. Mindful eating has many health benefits, such as reduced food cravings, better digestion, and even weight loss. My goodness, this is good. So, now we're going to talk about three different aspects of eating where you can practice mindfulness. Eating itself. Focus on your attention on choosing a portion of food to insert into your mouth. Notice the smell, the flavor, the texture as you chew. Then finally swallow it. As we follow, as with following your breath during meditation, pay close attention to every aspect of eating. Then there's your choice of food. Although you've already chosen your food before you had begun eating, you can still take the opportunity to contemplate your choices. Think about the nutrients your body needs to sustain itself. Then next is contemplating the sources. Most of us don't think about all the work it takes to provide us with the food we eat. While you're eating, consider all the work by the farmer, shipping company, and the grocery store. These are real people who worked hard to provide you with the food necessary for your survival. And then you can go, there are seven simple steps to mindful eating, and they have that part. You can find more tips about that. And there are the mindful activities. Choose an activity that you can perform regularly, such as washing dishes. Then focus on all the attention on this activity. Focus all your attention on this activity and resist the temptation to let your mind wander. When it does, just bring your attention back to washing dishes. Notice some of the specific movements or sensations of washing dishes, such as how the soapy water feels on your hands, the circular motion of scrubbing the dish, or the rinsing. You'd be surprised at how such a mundane activity can truly expand your awareness. And you know what? I enjoy washing dishes. When I get started on the dishes, and then I have um, detergent that I use to wash my dishes, and it just gets them so clean, and it works really, really well. And I like the way it feels on my hands and how it cleans and everything. And I just enjoy that. And I think about that. I said, I like washing my dishes by hand. All right. So you can choose any activity you like, such as ironing, folding clothes, mowing the lawn, or showering. Over time, you will begin doing all these activities with greater mindfulness. And then in here, they have 34 simple things for living in the moment. These are bonus things, but I'm not going to go over those at all. But this is lifehack.org, and I'm going to put this link in here for you so that you can go to that. I will do that. I certainly will. Okay. I love you so much, and I thank you for joining me today. You are awesomely wonderful, and I appreciate you. I really do, whether you're watching while I'm live or you're watching at a later time, even if you're watching years from now, days from now, whenever time of the day, night, evening, afternoon, morning, wherever you're watching, thank you, thank you, thank you. You are awesome, and I appreciate you. I love you so much. Please enjoy the remainder of your day, and don't forget, please support me through my music, through my podcast on Spotify. I'm getting ready to do the ending. I have 3 episodes of Ain't No Love, and I'm getting ready to wrap it up. And this ending, as Alexander would say, it's going to shock you out of your socks. I'm telling you, when God gave it to me, I wasn't in the middle of writing it when He gave the ending to me, and I'm like, oh my God. But thank you. I never would have thought of it. So you can go to Spotify and listen to 3 episodes of Ain't No Love by Miss Shirley Polk. And then my music is all over the internet. It's on YouTube, it's on Amazon. And all you have to do is tell Alexa, or you could tell Google to play music by Miss Shirley Polk, play music by Evangelist Shirley Polk, play the Polk Sisters and Company. The Inspiration of God singers are in there too. So just support me, and thank you so much. I appreciate it. I love you. Enjoy whatever time this is. Make sure that you enjoy your life and be present in the moment, okay? Enjoy the now. Don't let it get away from you. Enjoy the now, right now. Thank you so much.